I want this episode to
What's
really
up?
pop.
All right, let's make it pop.
Okay,
What
let's
do you
make
need?
it pop.
Oh, we're live.
First thing you do is start the live,
Oh,
and say something ridiculous.
I did not
see
know.
what Luke does.
Oh boy,
That would be.
I was definitely on board.
I don't know. The fact that you were on board with something as stupid as making an episode pop.
I just got your back, dog.
Well, I was gonna say, does it diminish my respect for you? No.
No, it does not.
It does not.
I'm just trying to get somebody's back out here.
Yeah, we haven't even, what do you call it, started the podcast yet. This is the video preclude.
What do they call this?
Prequel.
Like the dog days?
Salad days.
The salad days?
These are the salad days.
Made specifically for eating salad, I guess.
I don't know. I had a huge salad last night.
It was delicious.
I think that the salad day should be the day after the salad.
Because that's when you poop it.
So
Dude, it's so...
I didn't even poop today.
Our lens is... Do you have the thing where you do the thing and you rub it? It looks a little bit blurry.
Oh, are we foggy?
I think I might be fogged out.
Oh, you got the thing. And there's the thing.
This is what they say never to do.
Do they?
I thought that was a thing.
Oh, an expert did give me the advice. Never, ever doctor the lens during your thing, during your broadcast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's an endearing quirk.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
It's an endearing quirk.
I think so.
I think so. I feel like that works fine.
Yes.
So, planning. Okay, we've brought our Facebook Live and YouTube experience right into the
teeth.
Into the yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're in the nuts and guts of the thing here.
Yes, right.
We are trying to plan out our episode.
Yes.
Which we do. We plan out our episodes. Did you listen to Bob Lofton's podcast?
Dude,
I did.
I'm sorry, Bob.
I did. His
love
sound
you.
quality is stellar. He does them in his car.
Oh, just with his phone, maybe?
He does.
That would be amazing.
I don't know what he's using, but it's obviously very good.
Completely.
I never
superior.
blow my nose before we start.
Here we go.
I'm not doing it on camera, as far as I know.
Disgusting. Oh, that's so nasty. Stop, dude.
Tongue, lips, and the teeth.
All right, that's disgusting. All right.
All right. Well, we are energized with all of the energy.
Yes. My vape is burned, but I'm still pressing through.
I did 2 roofs today.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yeah, project managed 2 roofs.
Yes.
That's not podcasting material.
Yes.
So we did my setup last time.
No, we didn't. We did the small arts. My setup was the episode before that.
That was a test.
I passed?
I failed. Yeah.
We asked people to buy a silver coin last time, as I recall, which was sick.
What was it going to be?
It was like nickels and dimes before 1964 or whatever.
Oh, I was saying we take donations in pre-64 nickels and dimes because they have high silver content.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
You know, you can actually go to the bank.
Yeah.
And you can buy quarters, like you can trade quarters.
Yeah.
You break them open and you pull out the silver ones.
And you just give back the other
and then
ones.
you take, I don't know if they really want to let you do that.
I bet if you had enough gall, it would work. Like if you just were like, this is what I want, they'd be like, okay.
Gall really helps.
Yeah.
This thing you call gall.
G-A-U-G-L-L?
G-A-L-L, gall.
Gall, yeah.
It's actually, if you got enough,
dude.
You know, if you got the stones.
If you got the stones. Dude, at the risk of podcasting about podcasting, we had 63 downloads today. We're going to be rich.
Clip that.
That was a make.
You know what? If we get something clippable, we should do that.
Like, here, let me clip that.
You know what?
Oh my
that's
gosh.
That's a great way to do it.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna start doing.
Yeah,
When something is clippable and we want to clip it, we're gonna do that. We're gonna like that.
That's actually probably really helpful.
That is hilarious.
That's so funny.
We're so dumb. I love it. Stupid. Yeah, that's right. The voices in your head. They were right all along. How many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Oh, that's a better angle.
You just really brought it into the teeth, I bet, here.
I did.
Dude, we've been live for... Okay, it's fine.
We've been live for what, 4 minutes?
For a second, I thought it was 10 minutes. I was like, oh,
No.
I really should
I
opt to
think
get
it's
on.
only like 4.
No, it's like 5 minutes exactly.
Oh, it is. All right. Well, then let's...
Fire it up.
You
Do you have the Bluetooth thing on? Is it going to ruin it? No, you're good.
No, yeah, that we're
Okay.
we're
Are we
clear.
slave to the
Oh,
phone?
we're not slave to the phone.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Oh, it did lag out. For
it
a
does
minute, but
lag
it's coming
out.
Back.
It came back.
It's going to come back.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom, beautiful.
Are we learning anything? No. It's
No.
fine. It's fine. We're
Everything's
here.
fine. Yes.
So let's start an episode. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the CapmLew podcast. I'm CapmLew, and
This is CapmLew here.
there you go. CapmLew and Luke. The Lou and Luke podcast is
Yes.
what it's been called.
Yeah. By who? You?
Bob Lofton.
And with our YouTubes.
It's back.
Oh.
It's back. Plus, it tells me Mike Villalobos is watching.
Hi,
Welcome, Mike V.
Villalobos.
Villalobos.
Mike V. I love us. We have 11 subscribers currently.
Wait, what?
We have 11 subscribers on the CapmLew podcast YouTube channel.
That's it? Oh, on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, 11
Yeah.
on YouTube is a huge number since we don't do anything. But
Anything
upload.
at all? Yes.
Yeah, any comments or anything on
Let's hold on. Let's just see what we got going.
We don't know. Nothing's going to happen until we're putting clips on Twink Twonk.
Twink twonk. I know, dude.
Are they going to ban TikTok?
I don't. Is that actually in the air right now?
TikTok's where I get all my news.
Dude, there is some insane stuff on Tik-Tok. I don't understand how it flies under their radar. Is there just like too much content for them to moderate? I don't know.
No. TikTok is, sorry to our listening audience, I'm fixing my, or am I fixing anything at all? Fixing my lav mic, it went completely rogue on me. I don't know why. I apologize to the listening audience for, you guys were just subjected to being deep in the beard. That's what just happened there. I'm going to actually I'm double nodding, and I'm going for it. I'm going to get this thing right. I'm not just going to get it done. I'm going to get it right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm actually going to clip it. Nope, that doesn't work. I have to put it on so it's... Look.
I feel like I'm doing drugs right now. What's
I'd like
happening?
to take this moment to remind our listening audience.
Yes.
This is on you.
This is on you.
You are the ones who made the decision to listen to the CapmLew podcast.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And this is what you get, right?
We have decided as a podcast the best way to gain followers is to gaslight our following.
And don't forget victim blaming.
Victim blaming.
Absolutely.
We're going to victim blame our followers.
Yeah.
This is on you.
We know that you were listening to the CapmLew podcast, but what were you wearing?
What were you wearing? Oh my gosh, dude. You're tearing this podcast apart, dear listener.
Oh my
I
gosh.
could cry. That's hilarious, dude.
It's especially nice when you have real life trauma.
Yeah, dude.
It is. It's especially nice when
Yes.
you've been
Sincerely asked.
viscerally traumatized.
Yes.
And you get to
That's
just
nice.
let your hair down. Oh my gosh. Well, let your hair down and spend some time with the CapmLew podcast today. For what it's worth, we're here to talk about things near and far.
Yes.
I don't know if this is a continuation of the last episode as much as it is a continuation of this ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm having a fun time with it. This whole conversation that we seem to be weaving through all these topics.
Sure.
And this week, so you were saying to me that we had 63
downloads today, which is strange because our episodes drop Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you would think that tomorrow would be our biggest download days, but I don't know if we're getting them.
Is that the biggest download day? Is there a
spike?
spike?
Let me check. I don't think so. I think our biggest one was like maybe 80 a day, which is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people out there.
No
that are doing our
hashtagging?
voice. Yeah, I think it's possible.
hashtagging.
I don't know how the algorithm works, but I think sometimes it just like blesses you somehow.
We're basically
reaches out.
doing only the content creation.
Yes.
We barely have enough time. Luke is a surveyor.
Yes.
Is that what you are?
Well, yeah, I work for a surveying firm, but I'm a project manager currently, so I do a lot less surveying than I do like billing and managing projects and
Okay.
supporting other people essentially.
And I am not a roofer, but I am a project manager
Yes.
for a roofing company. In fact, I'm moving up.
Are you?
I am going to be the production manager of the company.
Okay.
And that means that I will be doing a lot of ordering, verifying,
Yes.
site survey
Yes.
stuff, as well as, we haven't done 3 in a day yet, but we do 2 a day,
That's a lot.
many days, and I am running around. I am dog tired by the end of the day.
Yes.
Often find myself moving heavy objects, which I'm grateful to say I can still do.
Yeah.
At going on 50 years old, I do not throw my back out when I have to huck a whole bunch of bundles of 90-pound bundles of shingles.
Yeah.
Very grateful for that.
Yes.
I don't feel like I'm not breaking any PRs.
No PRs were broken in the making of this podcast.
I back that entire
Oh my
sentiment.
gosh. Yeah, dude, sometimes the project management stuff is rough because the work itself is not necessarily tremendously difficult at times, but the stress levels can be high. And like last summer, I was managing like civil road projects for an engineering company I work for, and you're getting to work at 6:30 and it's 8:30, sometimes 9:30 before the contractor is done at night, and you have to be there the entire time and help them and oversee. And you're also watching for errors that are happening or something they're trying to slide under the rug. So you have to be good at being like, hey, we're not doing that, But it's definitely stressful and time consuming.
I still have to, one of the crews that was working today had another shift come in.
Oh yeah.
I don't get another shift.
No,
But
it's just you.
they also have to. These guys work hard.
Yeah.
And I have a tremendous appreciation for the hardworking people who are doing the roofing. I work in Spanish during the day too, which is an added blessing, but is also really hard mental work.
Yeah.
I am rumped at the end of a day speaking Spanish because you never get to click in. Like my accent stays really lame unless I can. Like this morning after we were done, we had a really victorious roof that went on very smoothly.
Yes.
And afterward, I sat around and joked with the guys and was able to click over into like proper full sentence paragraph Spanish with the guys, and they're learning how I speak Spanish.
Yes.
There are a lot of ways to speak Spanish.
Indeed.
And I have to form complete sentences in Spanish. I don't know these little staccato slang terms and things like that. These guys just like pippity pippity pip, and then they all know what it meant.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll lean into a guy and go, I'll say, excuse me, I am trying to communicate on the subject of these supplies.
Yes.
I do not know the word for this object that I'm pointing at right now.
Yes, right.
What is the word for this in Spanish?
Yeah.
And they'll tell me the word. No. And usually, for example, I don't know the word for bundle.
Okay.
And shingles come in bundle.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know the word for bundle. So I did that process, and I discovered that the word for bundle is bundle.
It's just as in English with an accent on it.
Some of them almost sound like they're saying bondo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Got it.
And then I also realized, I think they're called teclas, the shingles.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Oh.
Now, it's written on the packaging, and I think I learned teclas from the packaging.
Yeah, what's the do you know like the professional word?
Shingo.
Shingo is shingle in Spanish.
Shingo.
But they have a slang term for it.
Shingo.
Shingo is the slang term
Yeah.
for it.
Dame un bondo de shingo.
Okay. I gotcha.
So I'm like learning the,
all the nuances of
all these, and it's interesting because like pipe boot, I think I mentioned this on
right. You've been trying to figure out what
a pipe boot would be a bota de pipa, that.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Nope, it's pipa. That's it. That's pipe boot.
Weird.
And we have these 2-part pipe boot. Now, anyway, so working in Spanish at the same time as driving everywhere, picking up,
Yeah.
making sure everyone and organizing
Yep.
those things. And you probably know, but you're actually sitting doing budgeting and things like that.
Yeah, we do a lot of like
Oof,
sitting in an office and looking at computer screens. I also like process data that comes in from the field. So there's a lot of, you have to be super detail oriented and know what you're looking at and know how it's done, and then know how to use the computer software you're using, and then on and on and on. So it's pretty technical and kind of hate it sometimes.
Interesting. I have computer skills as well. I have to know how to order using the proprietary software
Yes.
and apps of
Yeah.
our suppliers,
Yes.
and I have to be able to use softwares that are subscriber softwares
Yeah.
to get a view of the property that is broken down to the inch.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, like
wow.
super intense.
Yeah,
right.
you can pull up a house and you can know exactly what to order, and then,
Yeah.
go through your ordering. And so I have to go on the viewing software,
Yeah.
figure out what's going on there,
Right.
and then I need to translate that into the ordering software, make
Yes.
sure I get everything and
Right.
enough of it.
And then add 15%, and yeah. Right.
Yeah, in fact, on shingles, they give us the spectrum of ordering
Okay.
so that you can.
Sure.
Yeah, so the other stuff, not so much. And then pipe boots are funny
Yeah.
because the only way on that viewing software that you can tell
Right.
how many pipe boots is if you can see them.
Yeah, like, and you have to
And
catch a shadow.
If there's
Yeah.
and if there's shadows aren't right, you can miss them. So I have to keep extra pipe boots and stuff in the old truck.
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
Truck.
camion is the word for truck, and that's what I use. But yeah, they call them un truck.
So sick. That's hilarious. Like you know how to speak Spanish, but you have to learn like a slang form of Spanish from people who are living in the United States. So they're picking up English words and then,
Yeah.
like retranslating them back into Spanish, and then you have to pick all that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually fascinating to think about.
And I'm grateful for it because it really is easier for me to remember words that are the same words I use.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
If they sound
I really
exactly the same.
appreciate the slanging of the language for me because
Yeah.
I can use all the help I can get.
Yeah. Sure.
I have a minor in Spanish that I earned through hard work and good application
Right.
30 some odd years ago. So
That's hilarious.
all my Spanishing to date has been when I can catch a talkative
Yes.
person who speaks Spanish,
Yes.
and that's been fun. My French feels better than my Spanish.
Yeah, you have like a good French accent. So
I don't even know what to say about that.
I don't even know what to say about that either.
Not-
I can barely say one word in French.
Yeah.
I'm like essentially the equivalent of like the Midwest.
You know what's going on in France right now?
I know.
There's a garbage strike.
They're not picking up
In
garbage.
Paris, there's a garbage strike. The garbage workers went on strike, and they're doing a 1981 New York. They did this in New York. I think it was like
Oh,
1981.
bro, that's a problem.
It was mountainous, and it is super toxic.
Wow.
And wow, you've got a problem when your garbage workers go on strike.
Yes.
They also are having massive riots in France. Massive riots in France.
About what?
Well, here's what happened.
Okay.
All right. So they have a constitution
Yeah.
and a division of powers.
Yeah.
They really believe in liberty,
Yeah.
la liberté.
Okay.
And so their government, namely their president, wanted to raise the retirement age.
Okay.
I don't know from what to what,
Okay.
but wanted to raise the retirement age. And the retirement age being raised is not something people cotton to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like our Social Security where?
Yeah, it's retirement age.
Yeah. You buy in throughout
Yeah,
your
right.
career. And
Before you can draw your Social Security, and
Right.
it's called La Sécurité Sociale.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
the same
so
system.
they have the same type of system, and
Mm-hmm.
and of course it's not good.
Yeah.
It's all French, but
Oh my gosh, dude.
so what happened is
Yeah.
they voted on it,
Okay.
and the legislature didn't pass it,
Okay. And then they just did it anyway?
so they just did it.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's intense.
The
man.
legislature didn't pass it. They either declined to vote on it
Yeah.
or they didn't vote on it. I don't know exactly how that works.
Okay.
But what happened was the executive power of their government
Yeah.
just did it, and that's not allowed.
Wow. No, it's not.
Right. So their constitution right now means nothing because their executive branch can just do just change major policies,
Right.
and so they're tearing it down, dude.
Wow.
That's what the French do.
Yeah.
The French will tear it down.
I mean, good for them.
Yeah, but I don't know if their government is afraid of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
they're all French, you know.
France keeps being France even when they tear it down every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the garbage workers are striking. The sanitation
Yes.
workers are striking.
Right.
But they are. Maybe it's in conjunction with the retirement age issue.
Perhaps.
But it is absolutely shocking to see that happening. I mean, and also makes me wonder whether I don't know, has our government done similar things? I mean, I know that the Bureau of Land Management, which is an unelected government bureau, levied new taxes on ranchers.
Okay.
And came to collect all their property because they owed $2 million in these taxes that folks were just paying them.
Okay.
And the ranchers were like, we are not going to pay you.
Okay.
Because it's in our Constitution that no taxation can be created without first passing through the legislature.
Which makes sense.
Right. I mean, they bury it in these giant 9,000-page omnibus bills.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But is omni the Greek prefix for short?
I don't know.
I feel like it must be, because whoever had the idea that we should pass 9,000-page bills is definitely short bus positive.
Yeah, short bus positive.
So, anyway, cancel me now.
Yeah.
Look, this is on you, dear listener.
It means all.
I know it does.
You knew that.
I was just saying omnibus short.
I actually did not know that.
Well, I mean, I move fast.
I
It's
know.
fine.
I know.
Greek prefixes.
I know.
Yeah, omnibus is actually Latin, and it means all of it.
Huh.
Giant.
Yes.
Omnibus is the dative and ablative form of
Oh my gosh,
the
dude.
word all.
Really?
Yes. So,
This is on you.
free Latin, Spanish, and French.
Yeah.
So, what happened there was the ranchers had a standoff with the Bureau of Land Management and the ATF, and the Bureau of Land Management and the ATF backed down.
Did somebody die?
Yeah, what happened was the ranchers retreated to a wildlife preserve while the county sheriff prepared, and they wanted to turn themselves into the sheriff, as far as I remember, because the sheriff could protect them.
Right.
Because the sheriff, a county sheriff in America, has more authority.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only law enforcement that I know of that have the authority to arrest an FBI agent.
Wow.
Yes.
Huh.
The county sheriff is elected by the people and reports directly to the Constitution of the United States.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, he can arrest a senator.
Jeez.
Yeah,
dude.
he can arrest. I think he can arrest the president of the United States. I don't know.
Wow.
That's beyond my Ken
Yes.
and my Barbie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I do not own Barbie dolls. You know what? I used to have one that a guy sent me. It was burned.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, it was
I feel like
really.
I've seen it
I
sitting
think I
around
threw
somewhere.
it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
I think
that's probably a solid move.
The
my dude.
burned Barbie doll really runs its course quite quickly.
Oh my gosh. The
So-
burned Barbie doll.
Look, we've talked about Jay Phelps. We've talked about.
Yes.
I've thought about Jeff Grosso a lot. I've thought about our constant harping on dead friends. When is enough enough?
Yeah.
Let's do some more.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I really liked our podcast on Thursday of last week. We talked about kind of the small arts, and we were really discussing Bob Lofton's email in which he asked us what kind of skating is our favorite skating, which is different than...
He didn't.
What?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, that was his podcast. He podcasted to our podcast.
Really?
We
We're
might
dueling.
be. We're
dueling.
in a vortex of small podcasts.
I love it.
Small, unlistenable, useless podcasts. Bob would
Yes.
agree with all those. He's
Yes.
very self-deprecating.
Yes.
Good chuckles.
Yes.
But Bob, who's running that Ira Glass, really good sound quality.
Oh boy, yeah,
very,
he's
very.
nice.
Bob, you got the
Ira Glass.
NPR.
Yeah.
You got the NPR smooth jazz
Yes.
voice.
I love it. It's melodic. He said, I would like to hear you guys talk about skaters you really like to see skate. That's
specifically what he wanted.
Yes.
So we didn't really do that.
No.
We did gloss over the fact that it would be the Ray Barbie, Tom Knox, Eric Dressen.
We
you know,
talked
for
about
me,
some of those boys, right?
and for you, it would be who?
I don't know. I said that I was in kind of a transitional period in my skateboarding. I've yet to land on like what's happening or where I'm going, but it has been historically Grant Taylor, Nodis, Jimmy,
Jimmy
Lord have
Wilkins,
mercy, Jimmy Wilkins, and a couple other folks of that similar nature. You know how I used to love was Christian Hosoi. He used to be one of my favorite skaters because he just flew and I wanted to fly so bad. But now it's not so much that.
Yeah.
And people used to coined the nickname for me, the ragdoll or the crash dummy, which is
Ben Schroeder?
Ben Schroeder. Because I used to skate like him. I used to just go for broke all the time.
I think I used to call you Ben Schroeder.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's why I didn't call you Crash Dummy. I called you Ben Schroeder.
Yeah, it was so bad. But I quickly moved from that zone. That was probably only a year because it just hurt so bad, dude.
It was a long year.
yeah, longer for some of us. It was brutal, dude.
You smoothed out really well.
Yes.
You're one of my favorite skaters to watch.
Don't.
That's just true.
Yeah.
Because you take it easy.
Yeah, I like it.
When Luke is skating, like, could he do this, that, the other thing?
Possibly.
You're not chasing, you already got the girl.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know that your father loves you. You already got the girl.
Yeah.
You're settled.
Mm-hmm.
You've got bigger fish to fry than your reputation among a bunch of mostly men whose opinion about you is based on daring do.
Yes. And I'm also realizing more and more that I'm trying to settle into what's important about life and what's not important. And to me, skateboarding is really low on that list, but it's something I really enjoy doing. So I am intentional about doing it. My wife is helpful in that way. She says things like, you should go skate. But I also realize it's total stupidity and, like the full-on hedonism that's on display, especially when we care too much about skateboarding. So when I go, I'm just really enjoying myself. And thankfully, I have, acquired enough talent to go skateboard and not feel like I have to learn a bunch of tricks or, I'm scared or it has to be daring do all the time. I can move quick and smoothly, and I really enjoy it a lot. So
skateboarding is not important.
Yeah.
Controversial take.
Yes.
Dear listener, we have to warn you that we have a mildly controversial take on something that this episode really, it's going to rock your socks.
I know.
Skateboarding is not important.
Yes.
And I think it's best. We've done this.
Yeah.
It's best when it's practiced with the understanding that what I'm doing right now is not important.
Yes.
That lives are not on the line.
Right.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah.
And the kind of skateboarding that we like, the people we watch skateboarding, usually are folks who are maybe they look like they have a peaceful, easy feeling with it.
Yeah.
Can't talk about what you like without juxtaposing it for contrast with what you don't like.
Yeah.
And what I tend not to like, for all the likabilities of the people involved, I tend not to like the risky rail gap stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it was a degradation. The skateboarding degraded into rail gap, high risk, high bar of entry, unsustainable levels of athletic and danger, danger levels, athleticism levels, way up. And even as a kid, I rejected that.
Yeah.
And I've told many of the stories before. Right. So that's the kind of, I don't like to be around people who are all spindled up around that's why I don't get along well with the battle.
Yeah, sure.
you know.
Right.
I do not play well with others.
Do you have? It's funny because I agree with you, but I actually like the fact that, in my opinion, skateboarding is big enough to encompass those guys. And the problem is that very largely the bandwidth has been, narrowed to such a degree that anything outside of the bandwidth of rail gap, flip in, flip out, crazy nonsense, high risk, low reward, high consequence, is kind of taboo within the more mainstream culture. That's the thing that's bothersome to me. It's funny because since I don't normally have a high amount of respect for people who identify solely as skateboarders, which means I don't really care what people, if somebody thinks I'm outside of that bandwidth, I just think that that's a really dumb thing, even though I care about them. So it frees me up to actually enjoy being around people who want to battle it out on a trick or want to try really hard on something or have spent a large quantity of time doing the flip in, flip out, super tech stuff, because that's not something that I like to do, but I like that there are people out there who want to spend the time doing that. Again, so
let's talk about the battle.
Go ahead.
I have two versions of the battle in my mind.
Good.
One of them is maybe something like working on it.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Incrementally building the skill to do this thing.
Yes.
Like if I want to kickflip into a 50-50, especially front side.
Golly, yeah.
Right.
I know.
I'm going to have to put in a lot of work.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
So I think we both agree that that's valuable.
Yeah, 100%.
It's valuable to work hard and learn something.
Yes.
But is that the battle? I mean, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like you have a person who says, okay, I'm going to go to the skate park and I'm going to try it 100 times. I'm going to be super disciplined. This is something I really want to learn.
Do it.
That's badass, man. Get after it. Here, let me help. Can you want me to film? Like, what do you need? Let's get you to do this. That's awesome.
That's cool.
But there's another person who says, I want to kickflip into a 50-50, and they're a completely toxic kind of POS at the skate park, and they're making everybody else uncomfortable, or even maybe they're jamming up the session, they're blasting through other people's lines, they're getting really mad, screaming really loud, throwing their board. To some degree, I will accept that because the skate park is a public place and people have the right to behave however they want to be. But
within reason,
I don't respect that set of behaviors as it connects to that person. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at that person and being like, wow, I have a lot of respect for that guy. I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's taking it way too seriously. This is really hard to watch. And sometimes what's even worse is a person who can already do the kickflip 50-50 and you feel the air around them that they demand respect from the people at the skate park because they do that and they feel justified to behave poorly to other people there, which is classic human nature, Well, I wouldn't respect that in motorcycling and,
but it exists everywhere.
It is, yeah.
So let's go back to the battle.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm at a skate park, right?
You're right.
And there's a guy there, right?
You're right.
All right. So I'm thinking about this because I've been there so many times, and there's someone there, and they're trying something, and they're trying it. They get close, they make it, and then 3 months later, seeing them that year, they're making that a whole bunch of times. And there's a legitimate victory of progression involved there.
Yeah.
And that is a heartwarming thing. I love seeing that.
Right.
People don't just magically be good at skateboarding.
Yeah.
Skateboarding. A lot of people are gifted in athletic things, and sometimes it comes easier to other people,
Yeah.
But I'm always really pleased when I see someone and they put in the work and they build that, and I don't think that's what I'm that never bothers me.
Yeah.
Snaking people and having bad etiquette, whatever, dude. I'm always, I haven't seen enough of that.
Right.
I mean, I might do some mild heckling or something like that.
Sure.
I'm not really a heavy regulator. I just don't see the need for it. The
Sure.
worst examples of that are like clueless self-entitled little children
Yeah.
who really need their parents to yell at them.
Right.
And you're like, little kid, don't get killed today. Hey, be
Right.
careful. But if they won't be careful, you
Yep.
change your session.
Yeah.
You know, we can't
Right.
teach kids those lessons.
Absolutely.
So I see that, but the battle, when I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I have friends who I've had spicy conversation with because,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go out and I'm not just talking about you right now because
No,
I have
no.
a long, not you,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
your
but those
if
people,
you're one
right.
of my friends and you're listening to this and you feel like I'm talking about that one time,
Yeah.
I'm not. This has been a thing that I've seen many, many times in my life where
Yeah.
somebody decides that they should be able
Yeah.
or that they must be able
Yeah.
to do a trick.
Right.
And then they exhibit a behavior pattern.
Yeah.
And it starts with that, well, let's say they want to kickflip manual,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right.
On a 6-inch tall,
Yeah.
8-inch tall
Thing.
mani pad,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Like something that's a display of real mastery,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. For sure.
So they start trying to do it, right? And you're going to be at the park for maybe you're doing 2 parks or 3 parks a day like I used to do all the time.
Right.
You're going to be at the park for an hour.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so they start trying to do it.
Right.
And it's precious that we get to be at the park.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But they've got a thing they're working on.
Yeah.
And they start to get mad.
Yeah.
You know, they try it once.
Right.
Maybe from the first try, they're already heated.
Yeah.
Then they begin to exhibit what I consider to be unpleasant behaviors.
Right.
Yelling,
Right.
throwing,
Right.
stomping, huffing, puffing, you know,
Right.
just
Yeah.
these are really common behaviors.
100%. Yeah.
And then I come out with that old joke like, come on, man. We all know you can't do that trick
I
yet.
love that.
You know, don't act like you always make that,
Yeah,
and
right.
then give us a face like, what
Yeah.
happened? What
Yeah,
happened?
like
what
completely
happened?
just dumbstruck.
I can't believe I didn't make that.
Yeah, right,
We
right.
can.
Yes.
All of us
Yes.
can believe easily you didn't make it because of the 65 times
Yes.
you've tried it without making one.
Yes.
All right. And so I tend to try and take the piss on that. You know,
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
I'm somewhat reliable, even in mixed company,
Right.
to throw a razz out there
Yes.
when that's going on. I don't want to start fights in the parking lot.
No.
And, you know, and I don't, that's not my intention.
Right.
But,
Sometimes that's extremely effective to make a connection with that person and really bring those levels down
I have-
and actually help them make the trick.
I think
There's not so much pressure.
we've both seen that happen where
Yeah.
somebody relaxes and knows like,
Yeah.
okay, these
It's
guys love
fine.
me.
Yeah. I'm
you
in
know.
I'm on the team. Yeah.
I'll say that to him too.
Right.
I'm like, look, you can't make that trick. You're still in the group.
Yes.
That's another joke I'll make. It's like,
Right.
dude, you're in the group.
Right.
You know.
Right.
One time I can think of, I really stunk up a session because I kind of took the guy aside,
Yeah.
but he was not trying a kickflip manual. He
Yeah.
was trying something that was really hard.
Sure.
He was working himself over hard right in front of me.
Yeah.
And a park was set up, so he was occupying a lane.
Yeah.
And I said to the guy, hey man, like, you're getting tired.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, I'm a dad and I'm afraid you're going to get hurt. He was in his 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I'm a dad and I'm afraid you're going to get hurt.
Right.
You know, maybe consider just like taking it down and, you know,
Yeah.
like just kind of
Right.
cool off. And he was not pleased by the input. I understand and respect that.
Sure.
I don't think that I deserve to be respected.
Right.
And then the guy that I had with me,
Yeah.
who looked up to that skater, 'cause that was
Yeah.
like a pro.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was like
yeah.
a pro skater.
Right. Super good. Right.
He was a super good pro skater with a big career, and I just cared about the session.
Yeah.
You know, I just cared about his safety because he was exhausted. It was
Mhm.
obvious that he could make the trick.
Yeah. He's about to break an ankle.
But he
because
was
he's
about to.
tired.
That's what I said
Yeah.
to him. I said, "I'm really scared you're going to break your ankle or something, bro. This
Right.
is how accidents happen."
Absolutely.
Not appreciated. And then the guy that I brought with me, he could like never forgive me
Wow. Really?
for
Oh my gosh.
for mouthing off to
Yes.
like a pro.
Yes.
And I was like, well, you know, my response was, you know, you're totally entitled to that. I mean,
Right.
I get it. I rub people the wrong way. Everyone does.
Sure.
I don't need to be respected.
Yeah.
So the battle,
Yeah.
when I talk about battling for a trick,
Right.
like working to develop your skills,
Yeah.
you can incrementally develop skill, which produces a much smoother,
Oh boy. Yeah.
well-rounded set of skateboarding skills.
Absolutely. Right.
Or you can focus real hard on the achievement crisis.
Yes.
Crisis level.
Yes.
It's a miracle you made it.
Yes.
And
Right.
this reminds me of an anecdote.
God.
That's why we're here.
Yes. Yes.
So I was at an event with my team,
Mm-hmm.
and we it was a demo.
Yeah.
And they put our company name on the flyer
Okay.
with the real company's name.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're involved in
Yeah.
this event. So what we always do, because we're just this little scroungy
Yeah.
bunch,
Sure.
we showed up 2 days early. And
Yeah.
we scumbagged it 2 days early.
Right.
And skated for 2 days with all the kids.
Yeah.
And the big kids.
Yeah.
And we're just having a party.
Absolutely.
So when
Yeah.
the event came by, we helped set up and tear down, and
Yeah.
we helped put on the event.
Right.
But we really didn't participate in a demo.
Yeah. Jeez.
When the pro team arrived, the venue asked them and said, "Hey, do you guys want to do like separate demos, or do you want to do it session style?"
Yeah.
And I was so happy that the
Yeah.
pro team that had come,
Right.
when they had Thrasher ads and the whole deal,
Yeah. Sure.
they were like, "No, dude, let's just have a session."
That's so sick.
And,
Yeah.
and the culture of that company, which was lovely. I don't want to mention them by name because I
Sure.
don't want this anecdote to
Right.
be too
Real life.
I don't want to expose anything,
Yeah.
because I'm about to say something that
Yes.
doesn't reflect well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say on who.
Right.
Who knows? It could be one of the guys with me. Maybe I don't want to
Sure.
reflect badly
Yeah.
on my history,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
You decide.
we're there that night, and the session is going.
Yeah.
And we're having a great time. It was a real success, and we stayed 2 days after.
So sick. Yeah. So
So we're down there, and we sold a lot of wood through that shop.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just having a great time. But there was this corner of the park that became, this one guy there was a filmer, a real filmer.
Yeah.
With
Right.
a
Like
real
legit.
camera. We were still using like flip cams.
Yeah.
And there's a real filmer really filming a real skater with a real reputation and a pro board and,
Sure.
and the chops to match it.
Yeah.
And we were skating around, and for like an hour
Mm-hmm.
and 15 minutes, an hour and a half,
Yeah.
this dear soul was attempting it was a hip.
Okay.
Was attempting a kickflip of some style maneuver.
Yeah.
Some flippery-do trick.
Like a backside flip or something.
I think it was a backside.
That's a
Let me
cool-
see. He was coming up front to alley-oop. I can't get
okay.
it back right
That's
now.
fine. Yeah.
But it was a precision maneuver
Yeah.
of respectable caliber.
Sure.
And he exceeded an hour,
Yes.
and he got one.
Okay.
And then I enjoyed skating like a good portion of the night
Yeah.
with that guy on
Sure.
this like 3 foot tall, 12 foot wide mini ramp. We just
Dude.
cut up and had a
So
great
sick.
session.
Yeah. Right.
Well, then the video comes out
Right.
from that company,
Yeah.
and there's that trick.
Okay.
And I was like, I have no problem with this.
Yeah.
It really happened. It was really done.
Sure.
And yes, it took an hour and a half of
Yeah.
trying.
Sure.
But he got a clip for his video.
Right.
Now, here's where the problem comes.
Okay.
Please don't ask me to respect you as a celebrity or as a higher life form because of your video parts.
Sure.
When that is a curated selection
Yeah.
of many of them are they're all displays of perseverance and talent.
Yeah.
But and I don't think most of the skaters out there really require that. But now and
Yeah.
then you get someone who is really quite big for their britches,
Yeah.
and they think that they're the mayor or the king of something because they did trick A or Z.
Right.
And that's just not how respect works.
Yeah.
In our mainstream culture, we've given far too much respect to people who pull off amazing tricks.
Yeah.
I am personally not amazed by the tricks.
I know.
When a person sets themselves to accomplish something, they usually get it or get something quite impressive besides it.
Sure.
So I recognize the perseverance that goes into it, but as I watch, I can't help but think almost every time I see someone really good at skateboarding, well, that's lovely. How's your life?
Yeah.
Because we've got so many dead friends stacking up.
Right.
Are you part of the marketing machine
Right.
that encourages kids to take drugs and and fall off into this flood of dissipation? You know?
Right.
So I have that in my brain.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the battle, like a guy, you could go to the skate park and try 100 kickflip to manuals, never make it, and I just love it.
Yeah.
But you start throwing your board and getting weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you to sit in the truck.
Go sit in the truck.
Go sit in the truck,
Right,
man.
sure.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I know. It's funny because I used to associate, like, anytime I would ever see somebody really battling out for a trick, I would really, very quickly, without question, associate that with something that I didn't like for a long time when I first started skating, because I was just, to me, that represented a culture that I wasn't very interested in being like or emulating. And then as I grew and skated with different people, because in the beginning I was skating with you and your crew for a long time, and I was really hearing what you were saying about skateboarding. And then I lived in LA for a year and skated with those guys. I lived in Colorado for a long time, skated with all those guys. And I really began to round out my perspective on what we're talking about. And it's funny because I started to ask myself, or when I would watch somebody battle a trick, especially a friend of mine who I really cared about, I was asking myself, okay, what's happening right now? I'm seeing the behavior set that's happening. What does this represent? And is there anything about this that I like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially for young men, there's an aspect to the battle in which it's like a microcosm of, some sort of battle that's being fought that I think it's ingrained within us, especially for younger men, though I think younger women fit into this category as well.
Oh.
We're looking for something to fight. You know what I mean? We're looking for a challenge to overcome. And I could see that being like on full display in the people around me. And when I saw it in that perspective, it really helped me to enjoy it more and to be way more supportive and, do my best to be helpful, because, very often I'm a little bit, I've got good balance, so I'm good at skateboarding. So I want to get in, I want to, get under and lift. I want to help them to accomplish this thing that they're doing. The hard part is you have to hold that on one end, and then you have to hold, the toxic. Sorry, I got a scam likely coming in here. The toxicity of a person who has decided to correlate directly their ability on a skateboard with their worth as a human being. Also, amalgamated inside of that is their worth as a human being in direct correlation to like the affirmation of the skateboarding crew that they're in. And I think that's where it gets nasty. So I don't know, it's interesting to see it in both, because I have a friend who I love, and he loves to do the battle. And when he's in it, I really love it, because I know him well enough to know that this is the way that he interacts with the world around him, is in his mind, a good offense is a good defense. So I like that about him, and I see that made manifest when he's battling something out. I don't know. So it's an interesting, dichotomous like thing.
So you're juxtaposing the inner identification with the heroic journey.
Yes.
I am reacting to my perception.
Yeah.
Very flawed, very
Yes.
limited. That it is an interaction not with the heroic journey, but
Yes.
with an inferiority complex.
Yes. And I see those both. Yeah.
I see the heroic journey of the person who persistently tries, humbles themselves, tries something that's a component of, for example, kickflip manual.
Super hard.
All right, here's, you want to do kickflip manuals. Great. Do I do them? No. But I do know this.
Right.
The first thing I need to learn for kickflip manuals is I need to have manuals on lock.
Yeah.
I need to know manuals from every type of landing.
Yes.
Like rear wheel manuals. Just, you know.
Yeah.
All right. I also need to be able to kickflip very well. Up.
Yes.
Onto second level.
Yes.
So if I'm trying kickflip manuals,
Yep.
and I'm having trouble even kickflipping up,
Yeah.
and landing straight and square on a second level,
Yeah.
I'm gonna humble myself,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go do about 1,000 flat ground kickflips.
Yep.
And about 1,000 kickflips up a level.
Yes. Literally. Just take you weeks. I mean, it depends on how much you skate. Maybe you could do it in 2
Could
days.
take 2 days.
Oh,
Could
gosh.
take 2 days. Today I would get a repetitive stress injury. I'm 50
Yeah.
years old.
Sure.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
But that's like what it is. And and to me, with all of these useless kickflips, I know that I'm building that skill.
Right.
And I'm facing down the demons as I do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And I'm wiring in skills. Now, what's ironic about doing a whole bunch of flat ground kickflips is I'm going to get a lot better at kickflipping up something and down something.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
I might start getting real nice back foot catches. I might start getting the timing and the feel for the flick path and really start to get super good kickflips.
I know.
Just a good kickflip, please.
That would be nice.
You know?
I know. Yeah.
And then when I've dialed that in, I can take it to second level kickflips.
Yeah.
Now at the point where I'm landing second level kickflips smoothly with my weight over the back truck,
Right.
which is really where you want your weight. You want your weight to be like 30, 70, you know, front 30%, back 70%, you know. When you're riding, you kind of want that.
Yeah.
And when I'm dialing that in, this is going to translate into better control for kick flipping for a frontside 50-50 grind or kick flipping for a backside 50-50 grind.
Right.
It's not as easy to transition into kick flip back tail slide.
Yikes.
Or kick flip front tail slide.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have to do all of that to get to the kick flip crooked grinds.
Yeah.
Which are hard.
I bet they're easier than a backside, like a kickflip to backside tail.
Okay. I see a lot.
I think, in my opinion,
and I wouldn't know. I've never gotten those tricks.
Sure.
But here I am, and I'm like, so you want a kickflip manual?
Right.
First, you need good, solid kickflips, where you can land on the tail pocket.
Yeah.
With your weight back.
Right.
So you come out here and you spend half an hour of an hour-long session.
Right.
With friends.
Yep.
And you're going to be trying it because that's where you're at, and that is lovely.
Yep.
But you're going to, oh my gosh, like, you know what? I'm seeing that my perspective is deeply flawed, and that's good. That's why we do this. The point of the podcast is, but if a person's on a heroic journey with it, there's a certain kind of behavior set that's not antisocial that's going to come out of that.
Yeah. If they're a person of character, that's everything.
That's what I care about.
Right. I started battling because I was skating with people who loved the battle, and I loved them. So I was like, okay, I want to do what you're into. I want to see what you like about this. So they would challenge me to do stuff. And part of the reason I discovered about why I didn't like the battle is because I had to be bad at something. You know what I mean? I had to accept the fact that I wasn't as good at a thing that I thought that maybe I could be, or in my head. It's totally humbling. And I had to be a person of character and say, oh man, you know what? I need to practice this. You know, like I can't demand, you know, that I can just do a trick on demand if I haven't done the work, you know? So
what is that? Am I lazy? I might be a lazy person, I would not be angry if someone accused me of being a lazy person who doesn't care enough about being good at things.
Well,
That could land.
from my perspective, I see you as a person who has directly correlated the battle with the toxic skate culture that that we've all been inoculated with for so long. And because you're so anti that, it's easy to, somewhat throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Maybe. I'm totally open to that.
And it's a nuanced thing because, that same friend that I have in my head right now, sometimes when he does the battle, he's toxic as shit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you got to stop.
Sure.
You're having a bad day right now.
And you're sharing it with the people around you. That's where that's where for
selfish.
Me, one reason I back up off of stuff. For example, like I do frontside disasters, but I don't do lip slides.
Yeah. Just as God intended.
And someone might say, Lou, man, you should try lip slides. And I'll say, you can go sit in the truck. Because the reason I don't do lip slides is because I don't enjoy. I broke my wrists so many times over the years. I bruised my palms, stone bruises, wrist fractures, torn cartilage. And I'm done, dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I will do is I'll go frontside disaster clip out.
Oh yeah, you will.
Just onto the that there.
Yes.
I'll go frontside disaster clip in.
Yes.
That I'll do.
Yes.
But no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like really. So the guy who comes up to me is like, "Yo, why don't you lip slide?" I'll be like, you know what? One of these days I'll get feeling feisty.
Yeah.
And I'll find a spot where I really like it, and I'll come up with speed. And
Yeah.
I will lip slide. I've done it before.
Yeah. Right.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, sure.
Someone says, well, why don't you do backsmiths and why don't you do back disasters? And I'm like, well, that one, my reason for not doing those two tricks, when I do backsmith stalls, which is how I learn grinds, I find them pretty pleasant.
Right.
But they're not very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm not getting what I came there for, which is I came there for motion, and for those, they're clumsy, and I just don't prefer it.
Yeah.
But back disasters, on those, I'm lost.
Yeah. Sure.
I turn the other way.
Yeah.
I know if I did this 100 times that I would have it in one day.
Yeah. Sure.
In one day,
Yeah.
I could have nice, clippy back disasters.
Right.
But I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's not why I went out skateboarding. I came out skateboarding to go. And I skateboard rarely enough now that I just really appreciate the motion of the session.
Yeah.
So I don't get the feeling I want from those, so I stick to the things that keep me moving. And those don't bother me. But the inferiority complex of like, if you can't do this trick, you're not in the group.
Gosh, dude. Yeah.
That one is, you use the word toxic.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a stinker.
It is.
That's a
poopy diaper.
That's a poopy diaper.
Yeah.
And the thing about this inferiority complex is I find it, in my opinion, to be much more common than the heroic journey of discipline.
100%.
I do.
Yes.
I know pros who are heralded as some of the very best.
Yeah.
Who obviously their life journey in skateboarding was fueled with having to do this or you're not loved.
Right.
You don't have value outside of this.
Yeah.
It drives me batty to think that people are imprisoned in that mental dungeon.
100%.
And I think that they should do no skateboarding and go and work and do something else for a while.
Yeah.
They should be much less dedicated to skateboarding and work on their lives, because the fame that they achieve just plays into a very expensive and wasteful lifestyle.
Yeah.
If the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to be completely fair, I think, my perception of a person on a hero's journey, there have been times where that's been really, really true about a person. I can see them really honestly working towards something and really wanting it.
Yep.
But sometimes it's me giving that person the benefit of the doubt
in
a large manner.
They call that projection.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, and perhaps it is because I, by nature, am an extremely sweet person. I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
People are really important to me.
Right.
Like and so that is the error that I can sometimes fall into, is projecting my own perception of what they were doing onto them. You know, maybe in their head they're being, you know, it's all tied to all the nasty, you know, things that a person would have a skateboarding trick tied to, you know, like being in the group, and I'm not cool if I don't do this, and how am I ever going to get married or whatever, you know. But when I battle a trick out, I feel like, yeah, it really is like that, dude. It really is. It's horrible. When I think, yeah, the projection is definitely a part of it, because when I'm battling a trick out, when I'm doing it really honestly, which is really difficult to do, I feel like I'm on a hero's journey, and there's a part of that that I really enjoy. But I think the part, I was going to bring this up, it's a little bit difficult to explain, but to admit to oneself that one wants to do a certain skateboarding trick and currently cannot takes a level of vulnerability and a level of childlikeness that is really hard to be honest about, especially if you got, you know, if you're more prone to be shame driven, because
Very common.
it's super common. It's especially in skateboarding. It's super common because that level of vulnerability, you know, to like for you to tell a friend, hey, I really want to kickflip frontside 50-50. The danger there for a person is that their friend would look at them and be like, that's dumb as fuck. There's no way that you could ever do that, and you're stupid for wanting it. That's like the thing that plays in a person's head.
I know I can do it, Dad.
Yeah, literally. Like, that's what happens. That's what's going on. It's like self-contempt as a way to protect oneself from the rejection that might happen if you can't do it and people think you're dumb, or if you were to tell somebody that you wanted to do it and they think that you're stupid.
But that never happens.
It's almost never happens.
That's not a thing.
But you know what? It probably happened one time when they're 5, and their neural pathways are literally wired to such a degree that it's this tremendous act of courage to even admit to themselves that this is something that they want to do. So when I started to battle, when I was, you know, I was with people who I trusted and I knew who cared about me and they were challenging me, I was experiencing senses of freedom because I felt safe enough to admit to myself, oh yeah, I definitely want to like come up really fast and do a nollie backside 180 and then do a half cab over the thing and then come around and do a backside nose blind on this thing that's pretty big. I actually want to do that. And it was sick to be with people who actually had my back and who thought that I could do it and were wanting to encourage me. So yeah, it's funny how, to me, all this stuff is super psychological.
It is.
That's emotional. It's packed with emotion for people, you know.
Skateboarding is very soul level for people.
It is,
and that's why we love talking about it.
Yes.
We love talking about skateboarding because there's a lot going on there.
Yes.
There is.
Right.
I wrote this card while Luke was sharing about achieving the trick.
Yeah.
And you said something like, now I can get married or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that.
Yeah, right.
I wrote this card and it says, great job. Now your life has value and meaning. A woman will love you and you will be happy now.
Yeah. Dot.
And I made this card because that's like, people fight for ability, respectability, legitimacy in skateboarding, as if the value and meaning of their life depends on it.
Yeah.
As if the love of brethren and women depends on it.
Yeah.
And skateboarding has this strange thing that happens is there's a set, humanity has this. They sell cosmetics like this. They say, oh, if you buy this, then you're going to be desirable.
Yes.
You know, people want to be desired. It's very, very deep in us.
Yeah.
That kind of desire is hardwired into humanity for the procreation of the species.
Yeah.
So for men, respectability is massive because a man who isn't respectable is not going to, they're going to be lonely.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like women want to be desirable and men want to be respectable. These are not bad. These are not bad, you know, basics.
Right.
But the problem is that you will have value and meaning among people who exist in this like fishbowl.
I know.
And it's just this fishbowl of people who believe that this will give value and meaning to us,
Right.
Now, some of us are just an SOB and we just got to get this trick, and that's respectable.
At least it's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's like, no, man, this is like, but, you know, I know guys that are involved in different disciplines,
Yeah.
and they really have a deep inferiority drive.
Yeah.
They really feel like they've achieved respectability and value
Right.
when they achieve these levels. It could be a military rank or a,
Right.
you know, a special, you know, a special talent, you know, or something like that.
Right.
And it exposes an underlying philosophical idea that my value is determined, the meaning of my life is determined
Right.
by these external things that if you got paralyzed would be gone.
Yep.
The
Right.
things that you lose when you're paralyzed are not the things that you should be super upset about when you fail in them.
Yeah.
This ought to loosen us up so that we're brave to do the heroic journey
Yeah.
and to engage
Right.
the technical,
Yeah.
the capacity and opportunity for technical progression in
Yes.
skateboarding. We should be able to engage that, but because we haven't answered
Yeah.
this thing, we're
Right.
trying to use skateboarding, or we're trying to use this.
Right.
Drugs just take you out of the race entirely. You feel you feel for a moment as though you've already achieved it.
Right.
You know, and it's a great feeling. You know,
Right.
whether you're dead inside on heroin or you're just happy and easy on
Yeah.
pot.
Right.
You know,
I
Yeah.
gotta pee so
I have to
bad,
pee
dude.
bad,
I
too.
gotta pee. Can we just pause it?
I don't know if we can pause Facebook. We're going to finish Facebook.
Okay.
It's pee break, and then we're going to do another probably 25 minutes on the podcast.
Yes,
So
dude.
podcast, we're pausing you now,
Thank you.
and then we will be back. I'm
Praise God.
so
dude,
impressed.
I gotta pee so bad.
This
My
is
eyes are
awesome.
watering.
We need to do this more often.
Oh.
All right, we'll be back with another one of these in a minute.